So we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You know, and I emphasize all men, right? Not just to be like males, but it's like all people, black, white, whatever creed, pre-born, born humans, and it runs the gamut. And I wanted to focus on that because, like I said, humanity should begin in the womb, right?
Let's forget the rights for a second, because I don't like the rights argument, because the left doesn't believe in the Constitution.
Good point. 100%.
They believe the Constitution.
100%.
Our Constitution is amendable in some ways, but they believe in a completely relativistic view of the Constitution, and even claim that the Constitution itself is illegitimate in its inception due to slavery, the natives, and white supremacy.
Hey yo, what's up guys? So I'm coming to another video. Happy July 4th, happy MAGA month, happy MAGA month, happy MAGA month, right? Alright, so we're here July 4th celebrating our freedoms, but not everyone's happy, not everyone's celebrating July 4th in a good way. They're protesting it, so we're gonna take a look what they gotta do and what they wanna say and what they wanna do and protest and all that stuff. So with that said, shall we begin?
So tall cause I'm hauling. I was waking up getting racks in the morning. I was broke, now I'm rich, these niggas salty. All this is on my body, got me.
But first, of course, if you're new to my channel, what is up? My name is Mitch, Maverick Mitch. Hey Mitch, all the Mitches, the call sign Don, and pretty much I like talking about what I talk about. So, current events, reviews, pop culture, social political commentary, be sure to check out all those videos as you're finishing this video. And of course, please like, share, and subscribe as it feeds the algorithm. So with all of that aside, let's get into it. Alright, so getting into it, obviously it's MAGA month, something that Tim Pool has been like promoting on his channel, and I agree, it is America, Make America Great Again month, you know, with or without Trump. I think that is something that we need to do. Celebrate the 4th, celebrate our freedom, celebrate independence, celebrate what makes America being America, right? And for the left, they ain't happy about it. You know, we just came from Pride Month, which is I'm really calling pro-life month because of the overturning of Roe versus Wade, right? And so a lot of blessings last month. Last month was very powerful, you know, not just with the SCOTUS rulings, but also re-enlisted last month. And so that in itself is a blessing because I did it in front of St. Michael the Archangel at one of the churches here in Las Vegas. Had my parents there, had my friends, family, and my unit there. Total blessing and everything. And so another 4 years, right? And so until they kick me out. No, just kidding. Until I'm riding this whole train. Anyway, so, you know, again, going into what I think is a blessing when it comes to the pro-life movement and the overruling of Roe versus Wade. You know, obviously the left doesn't see it that way. It's controversial, but obviously I take the stance that human sacrifices is a bad thing, that we shouldn't kill our children. And so, you know, and at least it's going back to the states. Y'all blue states can do whatever y'all want to do, you know, in Moloch and all that stuff. And so, but I just want to bring that up because, you know, again, with saying MAGA, this is actually, in speaking of, this is not a MAGA hat, this is actually a pro-life hat. And shout out to Angelique Clark with lifejust.org. You can check her out. This is something that I got custom made, and so it's fighting for life, and it is a pre-born human, a rosary in the shape of a pre-born human, and so totally speaks to what I like, totally speaks to my values and everything that I like doing, and especially when it comes to apologetics. And so something that I really value and uphold, and hopefully I try to do the best that I can. And so that kind of goes into actually this whole thing. And obviously we shouldn't just review pro-life as a religious standpoint. We should actually view it in the scientific standpoint, where life begins at fertilization. Because when it comes down to it, pro-life movement is pro-human, pro-humanity, and when it comes to humanity, humanity should start in the womb, you know? And so going back to the Declaration of Independence, right? And so we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. You know, and I emphasize all men, right? Not just to be like males, but it's like all people, black, white, whatever creed, pre-born, born humans, and it runs the gamut. And I wanted to focus on that because, like I said, humanity should begin in the womb, right? If we don't take care of the least innocent of us, how are we supposed to like think about the rest of our lives? So I think it just goes into that particular moment. And the idea of pursuit of happiness, rather, I think it's a pursuit of responsibility. If you follow Jordan Peterson, he talks a lot about responsibility. He says like opportunity lurks where responsibility has been abdicated 100%, and it's pretty much online with great power there must also come great responsibility. And when it comes to the pro-life movement, when it comes to all of this, I think that is something that we need to focus back on, responsibility. And for the left, they hate responsibility, right? They want that responsibility taken away from them, in which, you know, like government provide for me. Instead of saying like, hey, God provide, they say government provide, right? And so, again, not to be preachy about it, but it makes true, right? Instead of saying like, I want God, I pray for discernment, I pray for your wisdom, guide me in all of the things of my life. Y'all saying like free education, give me free government, give me free education, give me free jobs. You know, like instead of saying, Lord, help my ills, help my pain, help my suffering, you saying like government, give me free healthcare, you know? And it's like it is again, it's like God protect me, God save me, Saint Michael defend us in battle. Like they say like government, take away my guns and police me harder, and in the name of safety, keep me safe, you know? And so it makes sense that they put all of this. So I bring that up because people are protesting July 4th, right? So we got this like July 4th canceled. You know, can't exactly celebrate the freedoms while it's being taken away. You know, and that's so funny. Like it is the left. Like y'all, like when it comes back to the abortion debate, y'all can still do. Y'all blue states can do so whatever you want. Y'all can still pray to Molech. You know, sacrifice your children to Molech. But the idea here is that you want the red states to follow your stuff. It's like the whole democracy thing, like a threat to democracy. You know, like guns are a threat to democracy. All this pro 2A Republicans, the threat to democracy. It's only your democracy when it fits your narrative and your ideology, you know? And so obviously people have been making note. This is dramatic. People said that, you know, and people are talking about like, don't be talking about taking away our freedoms when y'all didn't say anything about like vaccinations, 100%, you know? And it's, again, even when it comes down to the people on the left, on the people on the right, independents, moderates, libertarians, Republicans, whatever you want to call it, like even when our rights are being taken away during lockdowns and vaccinations, we didn't protest July 4th, you know? We protested the people who were making these policies. And again, it's for the left to have that disconnect, like what are you, like, I get that you're unhappy, but like y'all can do what you want to do still, but why you gotta, we're at this point, it's so polarized where, and it shouldn't be polarizing to celebrate July 4th, you know? And again, it's like the same thing when we call it like the American flag. The American flag has been like politicized in a way like only Trumpers, Republicans, conservatives wave the Republican flag. We didn't own that. We just celebrated the USA, you know? Like, and it's like, it's for the left. They truly hate America, and I love this point from Tim Pool, like saying, going back to the states' rights, saying like SCOTUS has ruled that the federal government has no authority over women's body. A huge win for liberals. Great framing, 100%. You know, and you know, Arizona got in trouble with this with Prima County Democratic Party. You know, saying F the 4th, see you at the Raid Park. You know, and like it says Tucson Women's March. Let's mourn F the 4th. You know. Again, it's the Democratic Party, and what kills me, it's funny, is like, they hate America when Trump, Republicans are president, and they hate America when Democrats are president. So let's just get it straight, you know? Like, y'all just hate America, right? And like, to think we are here in this moment, right? You know, if this was 8 years ago, this would be totally out of left wing, like off the cliff. But this is acceptable to a certain degree. Yeah, they're getting scrutinized, you know, and like the DNC is like, oh, this is not something that we put up and all this stuff. This is something else, and they had to walk this back a little bit, but. To think that this was okay for anyone to think about, you know, like, again, we're supposed to come together, like left, right, and center on July 4th, at least, but we're at this point where it's not. Obviously, the left doesn't care about the U.S. They didn't care about the U.S. back in 2016 when they're like kneeling for flags, burning for flags in like all of 2020. We have come to that point. I mean, 100%, right? And this is where it leads to, right? We got, again, a lot of things like protesting, like, again, whether this is Atlanta, whether this is other states, you know, like LA, even Texas doing this, you know. I haven't seen anything in Las Vegas, and I'm glad that people in the Las Vegas side, maybe DNC organized, but these far leftists are disorganized here in Las Vegas. They just gave up, and which is great. So built on conservatism. So yeah. Next part, I want to throw in this video from this guy from TikTok. I've seen other people do this, but I want to play it again.
I'm not going to shut up about this. I'm not, because I can't yell at the Republicans. They're not going to change. They are who they are. We're stuck with them. We're not going to change them. You can't shame them. You can't convince them. You can't trick them. You can't fucking outplan them. But I can yell at the Democratic Party, and I can tell them where they can at least make one fucking small change to stop pissing me the fuck off every hour right now. Stop sending me fundraising requests right now.
I'll let it play a little bit more, but 100%, you know, like, it's funny that he says you can't trick Republicans, you can't, like, turn them and all that stuff. Well, one, like, it's nonsensical, like I said in the beginning, with the non-logical side, but, like, I agree to that. But at the same point, like, this is where I like where he's getting at. It's like, criticize your own side.
Okay? The Republican Party had a plan for the last 50 years to overturn Roe v. Wade. We had a leak 5 weeks ago telling us that this exact thing was going to happen, and your response after 5 weeks of careful study and planning and thought has been to send us non-stop fundraising emails. All right? So let me just...
You know, and other people mention this, and I agree. Like, I think in some ways they allowed this Roe versus Wade to get overturned so that they can rile the base. So for this very moment, so they can fundraise, so they can get them going again with anger, and just like let this happen so that they can just like be more in power, you know?
Let me give you a quick list. Mark Warner. He's the Democratic senator from Virginia. He's worth $214.1 million. Don Beyer, he's a Democratic Virginia House member. He's worth $124.9 million. Dean Phillips, he's a Minnesota House member. He is worth $123.8 million. Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the fucking House of the Democratic Party from California, is worth $114.7 million. Dianne Feinstein, who doesn't know where the fuck she is right now, the senator from California, part of the Democratic Party, is worth $87.9 million.
I'll just pause it there. I love it because, like, I don't even know how Dianne Feinstein is still in office right now. But, like, she was probably, like, a senator when I was in elementary school. Like she's been in there forever. And I think that's funny. Like, my point with this segment is that, one, other people have done this other videos where, like, blame the Democrats, right? For Roe versus Wade being overturned because y'all didn't police your side. With the progressives going for full-term abortions to God bless abortions and all that stuff, and I said it like in other videos, but like that's on them. Like y'all didn't post it, and so like the swing back is the new compromise, and it's not even like it's moderate. Like y'all do what you want to do, just in your states. So state's decision, and so that's a moderate view. And so I bring this back up because going back to the vaccinations and protesting the July 4th portion of this video is, why don't you just protest, focus your energy on the people y'all elected, you know? You don't have to protest July 4th, you know? I think we should all come together. But you should just protest the candidates that y'all voted for, left, right, and center. Like, on the Republican side, like the Liz Cheney, the rhinos, the Republican names only, you know, yeah, we're gonna like criticize y'all. And it's funny, like there was an article in which Liz Cheney saying like Trump is a threat to the Republican Party. Yeah, for for the establishment, for the rhinos, duh. But you know, because she's on the way out, because she's on the Jan 6 committee. But the point being, with me showing this segment is that, again, why you gotta protest July 4th, protest America? Well, I understand why, but why don't you just protest the people? And you don't. I'm not saying you got to do the Maxine Waters, right? I'm not saying that you got to be Jen Psaki saying it's okay to protest at people's houses, whatever. But at least protest the people that you put in power, right? I kind of also want to end off with 2 points, like one positive and one more excellent point from the Timcast IRL with Royce White, right? And so something that he mentions, and I'll play it here.
Understand why a baby at 9 months with a fully functioning brain that can understand music, that can kick and moves around, and is literally no different physically than a baby at the exact same time of gestation, but is outside the womb. They're identical in every way. I don't understand where the separation of rights happens.
Let's forget the rights for a second, because I don't like the rights argument, because the left doesn't believe in the Constitution.
Good point.
100%.
They believe the Constitution.
100%.
Our Constitution is amendable in some ways, but they believe in a completely relativistic view of the Constitution, and even claim that the Constitution itself is illegitimate in its inception due to slavery, the natives, and white supremacy. So I don't like the rights discussion. Let's just make it more basic.
100%. You know, I love this point because the same people that say like the 1619 project, all this stuff, saying like the Constitution was made by white people for all time, you know, and all that stuff. It never applied to people of color, whatever. And it is the same people who say my rights are being taken away. So which is it, bro? Like, which is it? Like, do you support the Constitution, or do you only support the Constitution when it applies to your narrative, your ideology, and everything that you want to push? Exactly. And it's the same argument, like I said in the beginning, like democracy. It's a threat to democracy. It's only your democracy when it's your ideology, your narrative, your political party. But like when this is the most democratic thing we can do. We said like, you know, Roe versus Wade, overturned to the state. That is actually a democratic process. Like, y'all are crazy. And it's like going back to this damn thing in which they're not logical, right? It only applies to whenever they seem so convenient. And so this was an excellent point. And so democracy only applies, the Constitution only applies when it falls into their ideology. And if you do not follow under this, it's authoritarian, that like you are a fascist, you are everything under the sun, you're a bigot, racist, homophobe, whatever, you're a Nazi just for disagreeing with me. And I think that is obviously nonsensical. And so I'll leave it off with one more positive point, right? Because I don't want this to be a negative Nancy. I want this to be positive, right? Well, the left is protesting America. I want us to pray for America. In God we trust, right? And I think one aspect in a lot of this is the lack of God, right? And, you know, how can you have America the Beautiful? How can you have songs like America the Beautiful where it has lines like, you know, God has shed his grace on thee, you know? They like talking about The Handmaid's Tale, but there was I wish I could find the scene for it, but there was a portion in which the American refugees in Canada were actually singing America the Beautiful, right? And they actually believe in America still, right? And so, and it was a very teary moment, really, and I'm glad I got to hear it at church today. But point being, I think we gotta pray for America. God save America, right? God bless America, right? And so I think if I'm gonna leave it here in a positive level, I did a video back in 2020 during the heights of the summer 2020 riots and everything and the lockdowns. I did a video about prayer and patriotism, and I kind of want to leave it there. And you know, and again, I just want to leave it there because there's power in prayer, right? There is legit power in prayer. And I want to be able to come with this in a positive light, you know? Like, yes, there are gonna be people who are protesting, but in our own, be your own beacon, be your own lighthouse in which you can share the light with others. Let the Holy Spirit manifest in you, in which you can rekindle the fire of the Holy Spirit and share it with others. I get it, not everyone's Christian, but you gotta understand at some level, at some point, there's Christian values that are predicated in the foundation of America, right? And so, but for those of us who are Christian, let's have fire on God, you know? Like, I'm wearing my Catholic t-shirt here, like, for America, for 4th of July, and to make America great again, make America godly again, right? And so, let's just leave it off there. Like, let's celebrate, let's have a great July 4th, let's have it MAGA month, all month, all of these 31 days. Let's do it, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Alright, see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Peace, peace, peace. Be with you. Awesome! God bless America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, one nation, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.